Reactor. I just react. If you know, you know, man. But anyways, today I'm gonna be reacting to the fake pimp, Mr. Kelby, and his two prostitutes, Ashley and Crystal. Yeah. I seen what happened to you, man. I seen what happened to you. He spit on you, and then you got your ass whooped. You got your ass whooped. You had to block it out. Damn, hey, man. You win some, you lose some. Talking about he gonna box him, man. You ain't trying to box him, man. Stop playing. Stop playing, bro. You was not trying to box him. You look like you was shaking in your boots, man. But nah, hate it if you hate it, like it if you like it. Let's get into the video, cause it's a black screen and I don't really like that.
All right, Kelby and Ashley and Crystal.
Yeah, these are my girls right here.
Crystal on the left.
Bro,
Ashley
why
on the
he look bald? Is he bald? Is he bald? What the? I don't see no hair, man. I see why he wore a hat in the interview. He ain't got no hair.
I'll try to remember these names. So where are you guys all from? You're from Orange County?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're kind of all around. Like, I'm from Southern Orange County, but I kind of bounced around Central Orange County and just like, moved around my whole life. She's from Seattle, but kind of like, same thing, bounced around Southern Cali. And same with her, honestly.
All over Cali.
How'd you guys end up in this lifestyle?
That's actually kind of an interesting story. Like, I kind of say they found me. Like, we always used to kind of joke about it, talk about it, like, oh, we could do this to get some money and things like that. We never actually took it seriously. But about 2 years ago, I kind of just...
It's not a joke, though.
Dipping my foot in the game, kind of like figuring out the ropes and stuff like that. And then they were kind of short for money, and I was like, there's some ways we can get some bread.
You guys were in the streets before this happened?
Yeah. I mean, we're actually we're homeless. Yeah. So I kind of just told them, like, yo, we can get some bread. You guys can, your white girl.
Allegedly.
It's kind of a rare thing to see out on the streets, so we ended up just going for it. And
Ashley and Crystal, were you working as sex workers at all before
Before we met him?
Yeah.
No. I mean, I tried to do some things on my own. A little bit, but, nothing.
You need a pimp.
Yeah.
Real talk.
Tell me why you need a pimp.
They don't need you, though. They don't need you, bro. They don't. They do not need you.
Well, it's not just the security aspect and, like, taking care of the girls, but it's just... I found, at least with most of the females in my life, past girls I've had, these girls, something about managing money is kind of like, it's a thing they struggle with a lot.
Sure.
So I pride myself in being like a CEO-minded person. I'm really good at managing money. So I'm not taking their money per se to go.
Then how you homeless, allegedly?
Spend it on random stuff for myself, but I'm helping them manage it, so that we can put it into investments, things that are going to make us more money, things that are going to look after our health, and all kinds of good stuff, not just, bullshit.
Yeah. And you guys will work where?
I try and keep them off the blade. They have worked the blade a couple of times, but mostly I just try and post ads, and that's cracking. Since they're white girls, people want them. So
the internet is what you guys do?
Yeah, mostly just ad work, posting ads on all types of different sites, magazines, and it's working.
You worry about the law?
I mean, like I said, I've been in some trouble before. I actually just got raided yesterday. But in terms of getting caught up with the law on this, it's not a big fear for me right now, just because I kind of know the people I'm working with. Most of the tricks, I'm kind of familiar with them.
You have regulars?
Yeah, definitely.
Man, he sound fake. He sound fake as shit. Man, I don't like him, man.
Regulars is how we make most of our money. I mean, we will branch out sometimes, but like I said, the regulars are really consistent money and pretty much like 3 times weekly, sometimes bi-weekly, things of that nature.
And being Caucasian, you're I think you're the first white pimp I've interviewed.
Yeah, honestly, a lot of people always told me, like, oh, bro, you're pimping all this. I'm like, you know what? I wasn't really pimping before I got into this.
Bro, you was never doing none of that, though, bro. What? He is lying out his ass right now. Y'all believe him? Y'all believe him? I don't believe him. He lying.
This game, but when I actually got into the game, I just kind of like jumped off the edge and just started swimming real fast. I picked it up just like I picked up all the other activities that I've kind of messed around with.
What activities, bro? Who is this man? Like,
quick. I pride myself in being a very intelligent person, pretty street smart and book smart. So I kind of use that to my abilities when it comes to this game and other ones I may have dabbled in before.
And drugs are part of your guys?
Yeah, we all we're on different drugs. They're using crystal meth, and that just kind of helps them keep working. But they were doing that before they started working with me. Before they were stable, they were already.
Hey, bro! It's all fun and games till they faces start falling off. Then you ain't gonna like 'em. You ain't gonna like them when they pulling their faces off.
Drugs. I personally cigarettes and opioids, but I really cut back on the opioids a lot, just like codeine, promethazine, and Percocet and stuff like that. But mostly just nicotine is my only vice. Try and stay pretty.
Is this just a business arrangement, or is there a romantic aspect to this?
I mean, I guess you could say it's a little bit of both. Like, I love both of these women. I mean, we've done things of like a sexual nature and things like that.
What you know, man? What the fuck you know? Hey, talking about you love somebody, man. You need to love yourself.
For me, the number one thing I focus on is the money. And I'm sure they'll probably tell you the same thing, is they're really just trying to, have a better lives for themselves. And that, in this day and age, really involves money. It's like the ticket to freedom is what I call it.
How old are you guys?
19
to freedom, bro.
And we're young.
Bro, is this slavery? This nigga just said ticket to freedom, bro. Ticket to freedom. Make it sound like fucking...
But we still about our shit. We still getting this money. Like I said, feds just took $20,000 from me when they raided me yesterday.
That was all your money too.
We're gonna make it right back.
When?
And Ashley and Crystal, you tell me how you guys grew up and where you came from before you got into this situation.
I kind of grew up in the valley, like Moreno Valley, and my dad lived in LA. My parents weren't together. My dad, an addict. Wasn't there a lot. Haven't seen him in many, many years. Grew up in a hoarder house, things like that. So
a whorehouse or a horror house?
Hoarder house, yeah.
Hoarder house.
Yeah. So the independent thing is.
Your mom was a hoarder?
No, my grandma.
Oh, your grandma.
Yeah, we lived with my grandma.
Oh, I'm sorry, right.
Yeah, and then made our way around California. My mom found another guy,
bro,
and grew up in a pretty nice area.
Y'all tell me he's smoking a cigarette right now. Y'all tell me, bro, cause he keep putting it down, then bringing it up, putting it out. I can't even see. I don't know what it is. He's smoking something.
But I always felt like there was something missing, or like was in LA. Like I kind of got attached to that place, and like I still view that as like my home. And so
it's a nice city.
Yeah.
For sure, a nice city.
Not really living the privileged life.
White picket fence life kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah,
it's more
for sure.
my style. So
that's how I grew up. I grew up white picket fence style. Until I was maybe 12 or 13. And my parents' divorce kind of screwed all that up. We moved more down south, Orange County. And then after that, I struggled with drugs and stuff, so I was in and out of rehab for a long time. And then my parents, they sent me to like an Amish type of...
Like a cult, huh?
Yeah, sort of.
So they were trying to control you or just set you on the right path?
Yeah. In the beginning, I was just... They put me in rehab for smoking weed or running away. They're like...
I wish the fuck anybody would do that shit to me. Shit. Man, what? Man. Man, you gonna have to chase me in this weed. Because it ain't going nowhere. Hell no. What?
So they're very strict?
Very.
And you were rebellious?
I didn't like to be told no.
I'd say so then, yeah. Yeah. I think that's something we all kind of got in common is that, like, rebellious streak. We've all kind of strayed away from society's norms in terms of not just drugs, but just the way we think. We all kind of have that different mentality from go get a 9-to-5, hustle every day in a legal way to get minimum wage.
But nothing is wrong with that, though.
And all that, we saw more for ourselves because we knew we're special people. And so that's the reason.
Special? Did this nigga... Did he just say special? Wow. He thinks highly of himself. That's crazy.
Dabbled in this, and once we started doing it, we realized, like, yo, this works for us. So we're sticking with it and just trying to go up from here now.
Actually, Crystal, you say this arrangement works for you guys?
Yeah.
Yes, it's the best possible situation. Like, we all met each other at the perfect time.
Yeah. You guys have been together how long?
I don't want to say exact specifics just because of the shit going on right now, but it's been months.
Yeah.
Close to a year. And we've been friends even before that, probably like 3 years now.
So it's not the typical abusive pimp?
Nah, definitely not. You know what? With girls that I've had in the past, if they get a little bit of a really strong-minded rebellion, then I have checked a girl or two in my past, but kind of...
No, the fuck you didn't. I don't believe you. You're lying. Stop lying. He's lying. Look at his face. Do y'all really think... Do he look like somebody that would check a girl? Like, hey, bitch, sit the fuck down. Do y'all think he would say some shit like that? I don't.
From that, the gorilla pimping style just doesn't work. I'd much rather, just get them to do what I want with my mouth rather than, slapping them around and shit like that. Because at the end of the day, that's not good for nobody. They're not going to want to go work if I'm beating on them. They're not going to look good if I'm beating on them, giving them black eyes and things like that. So, yeah, I just kind of tell them, like, yo, this is what I expect from you guys. This is what I want from you guys. A lot of times they go above and beyond. If they're not doing exactly what I want, I'll kind of give them some motivation to do it. And
I was like, bro, that's the same chain I bought in GTA, bro. That shit fake, for sure.
Yeah, that's my main job other than managing the money and keeping them safe, is to just be that motivator in their life that they both need, that we all need, honestly.
So your role is like their manager, you're their security guard, you're their...
Everything like that, yeah. I mean, there's been times when we've had tricks that are, most of them are unpredictable, but some that kind of just freak me out a little bit, and I think it makes them have a little bit more peace of mind when I'm there, just in a defensive way, kind of able to intervene if anything bad were to happen.
Have you guys had incidents yet?
We've had a few people try and short us on money, but we always made sure we got that right back. And, we've had people intentionally, try and stay longer above their time limit of the date and things like that. But we kind of just shut that shit down and, get them out of that situation and usually move on from that trick and just find a new one.
Wow.
So, Kelby, your style seems to be a little bit of a throwback to like the 80s.
I'm 100%
90s pimps.
Old school in every way, 70s. In the way I think, the way I dress, the music I listen to. Because the old school is the best school. Like, you can ask anybody around here and they'll probably tell you, like, oh, the old school, they were doing this.
Spell school.
wrong and this wrong. Old school works. This new bullshit going around of people, beating on their girls because they think that's old school and, just putting them out there, busting cheap dates, all that type of shit, it don't work. Like, it might work for you, but it's not going to work in terms of the relationship with the girls. That's why you see them constantly switching hoes back and forth, because the girls aren't going to want to be out there not feeling loved, just having to do this every single minute of every day. You got to leave time for relaxation, leave time for fun, and most definitely got to stay fly.
Yeah, like going to the beach, right?
Are there tennis shoe pimps down in Orange County?
You know what? Honestly, in Orange County, I've met a few pimps, and they're all just gangbangers.
Right.
They don't even, you could call them tennis shoe pimps for sure, but they're mostly just, Chicanos, Cholo gangbangers, and they just find out, they realize prostitution is a way to make money, so they kind of get into it. Like that. Yeah, but it ain't a real pimp, in my opinion.
Right.
A real pimp's got to have love for his girls. He's got to have respect for his girls. He's got to earn it and demand it. But he's going to get it either way, and it's got to be a good mix of both. You can't just be beating on your girls, demanding respect, because that ain't respect at the end of the day. That's fake. And so I'm just really big. My whole life thing is keep it real.
You're fake. You're fake. Fake.
I don't like none of the fake shoes, fake jewelry, fake clothes that all these people be wearing out there, especially the pimps.
What are you doing?
They're just basically spitting in the face of the culture and in the face of the game, and yeah, it just gives a bad name to all the other pimps out there, including myself. A lot of people, homies I've had and shit like that, maybe not current homies, they're kind of like, oh, bro, you're a terrible person for doing all this. I'm like, bro, you don't know the half of it. Like, I'm not saying these girls wouldn't be where they are today without me, but I'm saying that I wouldn't be where I am today without them, and I think vice versa, honestly, too. And that's because I keep it old school, because I keep it the way that it should be played. This game is not something that changes as the times go on. Seems to be what people think, but it's something that needs to stay traditional, because that's the way it's always worked. It's the world's oldest profession, and it needs to be played by those same rules that it was created with.
And you'll make sure the girls get what they need in terms of drugs and
100%. As much as I don't like them doing the drugs, I'd much rather go buy them a nice meal than I would drugs, but they need the drugs to stay normal and to work, so yeah, I make sure that they're getting safe drug supply and, all the paraphernalia they need to consume those drugs.
Is it difficult with the two different personalities?
You know what? They're pretty close friends, so a lot of times they have qualities about them that will be difficult for me to manage, but I'm a people person, so I can honestly handle that pretty well. Kind of please both of them, including myself, and it works out, We don't have any issues with that more than normal.
You're still a young man. Did you have any idea that one day at 19 you'd become a pimp?
I'm not going to say I knew that I was going to be a pimp, but I had definitely a personality where, like I said, I'm a people person, so
bro, just because you have a personality, that means you can be a pimp. You know what? Man, I don't like him.
Having girlfriends when I was younger, and even if it wasn't in a romantic aspect, I just felt more comfortable throughout my entire life with females than with males. So I guess you could say that it was an idea in the back of my head. Not a for sure thing, but definitely there.
Did you describe yourselves as hustlers?
Oh yeah, we are the number one hustlers in Orange County for sure. I mean,
number one, bro. How much you bringing in, bro? You just said that they raided you and they took the 20K. So you down 20K. You down right now, bro. What are you talking about? You're down right now, man.
It's my number one hustle for sure, but in the past I've had other hustles, and I've always been doing better than my peers. Like I said, I'm making sure they're living the lives they want to live and just free of anybody telling us what to do, free of any roadblocks for the most part. So yeah, we're definitely the biggest hustlers out there.
How about emotionally for the girls? So they get depressed or angry, anxious, anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, when you're dealing with anybody who's addicted to substances, myself included, if I'm not having my drug that day, and same with them, if they're not having their drug that day, there's going to be a little bit of attitude, a little bit of emotion involved. But I try and just bring them up,
I need meth. I need it. I want it. I want the drugs. I need the drugs. Ah! That's how they be. Like, what the- yeah, ain't no fuck. Hey, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'd be scared. I'd be scared. I'd be scared. I'd be like, bro, you know what? You can go be with the drugs. We good.
They're both beautiful young women. I try and just reinforce that they need to love themselves just as much as other people around them love them. And for the most part, it works. I mean, we all got our mental issues that we struggle with, whether it's, actual mental illnesses or chemical imbalances or whatever bullshit you want to say. But we're just people. We got those types of problems, but we make do with it and we work it out.
What are your relationships like with your families?
Well, I'm gonna let them tell their own stories because I try not to. I don't like to talk bad about their families, and both of their families oftentimes piss me off. But as far as my family goes, I had a decent upbringing. My family was kind of like hers, very strict, very controlling. And my dad kind of just allowed himself to get bitched around by my mom a lot, and they were always fighting and beating on me and shit like that. So I'm not gonna say it was the greatest upbringing, but I always had a roof over my head and food on my plate. And now my relationship with my family, they know what I'm doing, but I think they probably just don't really. They try and look the other way about it. Like when the cops came and served that search warrant the other day, they were on my ass about it, but I kind of calmed them down, cooled them about it, and told them like, yo, this is what's going on. Like, I'm sorry I didn't come out and tell you guys straightforward. I kind of was under the assumption that they knew.
Bro, how well, bro?
Actually,
Time out. How they gonna be under the assumption? Like they really involved in your life so much. Like, oh my gosh, I think he's pimping. Oh my gosh, Sarah. Like the father gonna go up to the mom like, oh my gosh, he's pimping hoes. Like what? Come on, man. He playing, bro. This is a joke. This is a joke. He is a comedian. He is not a pimp. He is a comedian. That's what he is. I don't know what he's talking about.
Your family, you still speak to them?
Not really at the moment. Or I'm trying to distance myself from them. My parents never did anything to harm me physically or anything like that, but mentally and emotionally, they weren't really there. Obviously, my dad, haven't seen him since I was really little, so we've only had a little bit of communication for a couple years, and we're both kind of ghosters, I would say. Hard for us to keep that communication flowing. So it's not really bothersome to me anymore as much like it was. But I always felt kind of like I was trapped.
Yeah, I feel that.
Living
for sure.
with them. Yeah, or with my mom, per se. And my stepdad, I'm not fond of him really at all. But so I always wanted to leave.
Bro, y'all see him over there nodding his head to everything they saying, bro. Like, you can look straight. Like, you don't gotta nod your, like, that's kind of weird. Like, he just looking at them, just nodding his head, just, yeah, she knows exactly what she's talking about, yeah. Like, bro, stop this.
Ever since I was really, really little, my mom would always complain because I'd be the only kid that would cry to get picked up from school because I didn't want to go home. So we got in a last final argument out of all the millions and millions of arguments that we've had that go nowhere because there's that emotional disconnect where she just can't understand anything that I'm trying to tell her. So she kind of gave me the go ahead, and I packed my stuff and I hopped out the window that night and I left.
They give you an inch, you take a mile, for sure. I mean, it's much better, I think, to be out on our own because, we are young, but we're adults, and just living with our families, especially the types of families we had, was so controlling and so it was just preventing us from doing anything that we need to progress in our lives. So I think us finding each other through fate or through God, or whatever you want to, say how we found each other, it was a beneficial thing. We're all...
He's talking out his ass. He is talking out his ass. He's just trying to say things that make sense that makes no sense. And right now, he's making sense nothing.
Friends, we're close, we love each other, and we're kind of just able to, progress together rather than just... Before, it was kind of me progressing alone and, having girls and dropping them for new ones and things like that. But when we found when I found the two of them and they found me, we really just grew and we made a real connection that I've never had before with other girls.
What would you wish your families would have done differently?
For me personally, I don't wish they would have done anything different. I think the way that they raised me built me into the person I am today. It definitely built my character, gave me a good mind, and kind of just look at the world a different way. So
you're promoting that your parents treated you bad, but it made you a good person. That makes sense.
And say nothing. I think what they did, even though it was harsh and, abusive, I wouldn't change it for the world.
Crystal, what would you...
Are you kidding me? Bro. Wow, that's crazy.
Okay. About your family, are you still in contact with them?
A little bit. They don't really like to talk to me. So it's usually like they won't speak to me for a few months, and I'll try and reach out through multiple phones because they block every number that I text them.
Oh no, they block. Oh my God, what you do? What did you do? You burnt the house down or something? They had to get another one. Had to be something, bro. She did something. They blocking you? Nah, that's crazy.
But I'm not really sure. Our relationship, me with my parents, is always on and off. It's like it'll be really bad for a few months, and then it'll be okay, and then it'll be really bad, and then it'll be okay.
What do you wish they had done differently?
I wish that they just spoke to me when I was growing up with them. It's kind of, they would see me struggling, and they didn't want to deal with it themselves, so they would put me in like a place where I could get professional help, I guess.
Wow. Rehabs and stuff, right?
Yeah, I just wish they would have talked to me and tried to
just be there. Honestly, yeah. I guess if I had one thing about my family, I'm sure we all kind of wish that our family had just been there more, the three of us, because at the end of the day, if you don't have somebody to count on, you're going to go look for that type of love somewhere else. And I think that's what we ended up, finding, not necessarily looking for it, but just kind of finding with each other, is that love that we never really had from our families. And that connection, that bond, it's something real. Just because we're not blood related doesn't mean that we don't have that same care and passion for each other that our families should have had for us.
Right. Really?
What would you guys say is the most important lesson you've learned in your lives? In your 18 years?
Honestly, most important lesson I've learned in my life, it's not advice that I'm going to take myself, never have, never will, but really just focus on the things that society tells you to do in terms of jobs.
Yo, what? Dude, y'all heard that? Y'all heard that shit, right? Y'all heard that shit. Oh my gosh. I'm not tripping. This nigga just said, do what society tells you. Dude, yo.
Because you don't want to be, walking outside to have a smoke and, getting put in cuffs, cops drawing guns on you, undercover agents and shit, and then running in your house, trashing your place, just looking for shit, looking for taking all your property, You don't want that. So I would say, stay.
Yeah, I knew that was all your property. That's why I said you down. You down right now. You down bad. You down 20K. 20K, bro. Where you gonna find it at, man? Where you gonna find it at? Damn, man.
Definitely just, even if your family doesn't love you, love them. And that goes for anybody. If they don't love you,
I ain't trying to hear that shit. If you stayed to the end, I appreciate you. If you didn't, maybe next time. I'm out, man. Catch y'all next. He's a bitch.